Episode 1 was about the moment everything begins. This one is about the minutes before it. The waiting, the stomach that won't settle, the brain that won't stop, the voice that picks the exact moment to remind you of every time things went wrong, every mistake you've made, every bout you should have won and didn't. That's not nerves. Nerves are just energy looking for somewhere to go. This is different. This is the part of you that decided, right now, in this moment, to question whether you should be here at all. I spent a lot of time in that space, and I've never found a way to make it comfortable. But I started writing about it, and something shifted. Not the feeling didn't go anywhere, but I started to understand it, to recognize it for what it was. And somewhere in that recognition it stopped having quite as much power. And that's what this episode is about. My anxiety before competition is physical. Stomach upset, the fight or flight response turned all the way up to 11, even when nothing shows on the outside. I'm not visibly shaking. I've gotten pretty good at hiding it, but underneath, the body is running at a completely different level than normal life. What makes it specific, and what took me a long time to recognize, is what my mind does with that state. It plans. Not just thinks about the competition, every possible outcome, every scenario where something goes wrong, every decision I might face and what I'll do if it does. Contingency after contingency after contingency. My brain is building backup plans for backup plans before the first bout has even started. The closer it gets to the first bout, the louder it gets. I want to be more specific about that, the first bout, because there's something particular about waiting before that first moment of the day. Every bout has some anxiety too, but it's manageable. The competition is already underway, you're in it. But that first bout, the brain doesn't know yet how the day is going. It hasn't gotten any information. It's running entirely on fear and speculation. And it gets louder and louder and louder until I feel completely trapped inside my own head. That's not a figure of speech. I can be standing in a full room of people, coaches, teammates, opponents, and be completely unreachable. Not because I'm ignoring anyone, because I'm so far inside my own thinking that the outside world has become background noise. And when I was younger, it wasn't just the waiting. Getting behind in a bout would do the same thing. If the score started going the wrong direction, the anxiety would find its way in. I had to fight to stay on top. Getting behind just wasn't a scoreboard problem. It was a mental one. I didn't allow myself to get behind. And then the referee speaks. Fence, allez, and everything goes quiet. Not the zone. This isn't the zone. This is different from the zone. The focus that comes in the moment isn't clarity or flow. It's more like the anxiety just runs out of road. There's nothing left to plan for. It's happening now. And I run on a different set of instructions. That's the only way I know how to describe it. The contingency planning, scenario planning, catastrophizing version of me steps aside, and something more automatic takes over. Counting Down is a song about that interval. From the moment the anxiety starts building to the moment the referee speaks, and the different set of instructions kick in. That gap, that waiting, that spiraling, that getting louder. That's what I was trying to write. The song opens with a physical reality. My hands are shaking, but I hide them in my grip. The room is spinning, and I'm biting my lip. My hands are shaking, but I hide them in the grip. That's not just anxiety. That's the performance of composure where everything underneath is anything but. And biting your lip, that's the body trying to give the feeling somewhere to go that no one else can see. These aren't poetic choices, they're memories. The pre-chorus does something that I'm proud of. What if I'm not ready? What if I'm not strong? What if every step I've taken led me somewhere wrong? 4 questions, no answers. That's intentional. Anxiety doesn't argue, it just asks and asks and asks. The questions don't build to anything, they just accumulate, which is exactly what the contingency plan feels like. Then the chorus. I'm counting down the seconds till the silence falls away, counting every heartbeat like a drum before the fray. The doubt is getting louder, but my body knows the way. That last line is the most important line in the song. The doubt is getting louder, but my body knows the way. And I want to be clear about what that means. It's not that my body had the technique figured out. It's not about experience or repetition or muscle memory. It's older than that. We all know fight or flight. The moment when the mind goes sideways and the body just takes the wheel. Your heart rate changes, your focus narrows. Something ancient kicks in that doesn't ask permission and doesn't need the mind to sign off. That's what the body knows the way means. Not fencing knowledge, not competitive knowledge, survival knowledge. The kind that's been in us longer than language. longer than strategy, longer than doubt. The doubt is loud. It will always be loud, but it's competing with something that was there first. That tension, the mind spiraling while the body holds, is the whole song. The second verse goes deeper into the trap. 100 faces pass me, but I can't see anyone. I'm trapped inside my own head and I'm coming undone. That's the room full of people I described in the origin. Not ignoring anyone, just unreachable. Coming undone was a deliberate choice over something softer, because that's what it actually feels like. Not nervous, not butterflies, just undone. And then the pre-chorus shifts. This is the turn I built the whole song around. But what if I'm ready? What if I've been wrong? What if every scar I'm carrying is where I learned to be strong? The same 4-question structure, same rhythm, but the questions flip. What if I am ready instead of what if I'm not? What if I've been wrong about the doubt, not the preparation? What if every scar is where I learned to be strong? It's not an answer, it's still a question, but it's a different question. And sometimes that's all you get, a question that points in a better direction. The bridge is where the song goes to the limit. I can't breathe, I can't think, I'm on the edge and I'm about to sink, but I didn't come this far to only come this far. That line, I didn't come this far to only come this far. It's a mantra, one that means something different depending on where you are. Everyone has distance behind them, and anxiety will always try to make that distance feel like a reason to stop. But here's what I've learned. It doesn't always end with a victory against your opponent, but it does always result in a win for yourself. And then the chorus doesn't count down anymore. I'm not counting anymore, the silence falls away. Guess what? The referee spoke. The different set of instructions have kicked in. And all of it, the stomach, the contingency plans, the questions, none of it matters anymore. Because now, you move. The structure of the song is the experience. Not inspired by it, not representing it, actually built to move the same way. The first chorus and the pre-chorus are the waiting room. Everything building, nowhere to put it yet. The first chorus hits. And it's not a release, it's still anticipation. But I'm still standing there, the countdown hasn't finished. Then the music drops, just the beat. And that's intentional. That's the heartbeat. Elevated, steady, waiting. The second verse comes in and something strange happens. The music is actually moving faster, but everything feels like it's still slowing down. That's real. The hyper-aware stillness right before something begins, where you notice everything, feel everything, and time decides to do whatever it wants. The second chorus opens up. The vocals come alive, the music expands. That's the countdown finishing. That's the last few seconds where the only thing left to do is move. Then the bridge. Just vocals, a hint of piano. That's the moment right before the referee speaks. Everything quiet, everything ready. And then it builds. Fast and urgent and inevitable. Into something that can only be described as release. All of it. Everything that was held. Finally having somewhere to go. The music earns that moment because it made you wait for it. Just like the moment does. I didn't write this song because I found it interesting. I wrote it because I needed to understand why I felt what I felt in those seconds before everything started. Everything moving at once. The mind, the anxiety, the doubt, the contingency plans. All of it running at full speed. And my body completely still. So I started writing it down. Not to fix it, not to perform it, just to see it clearly. And somewhere in that process, I found the image that made it make sense. A countdown. Not a clock running, a rocket launch countdown. That specific charged anticipation where everything is already alive. The release is already decided. And all that's left is the moment itself. And that's what those seconds are. Not dread, not fear, pure loaded anticipation. And once I could see it that way, I could finally breathe inside. Next episode moves into the bout itself. Into a song I wrote for the person who taught me what to do once the countdown finally hits 0. That's Edge of Instinct. I'll see you there.